Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to UK Fast and Tech Manchester, and welcome to Tech Class. This is the third in the series. I've seen a few of you at some of the previous workshops, and I look forward to seeing you at future ones over the coming months. For anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Patricia Keating. I'm the programme lead for Tech Manchester. Tech Manchester is a programme fully funded by UK Fast to help early-stage tech-focused businesses like yourselves. For anyone that doesn't know UK Fast, where you are, in fact, hands up anyone that hasn't been here before. Oh, this is great. We're starting a little community. It's brilliant. So UK Fast is a cloud hosting and co-location business. So for your emails, for your websites, for your data for business, that's what we do. But we're not your usual tech company, as you've probably seen. It's a family-run business by the original founders, Gail and Lawrence Jones, who still wholly own the company. And they have a tech company that has a building company, an outdoor pursuits centre down in Snowdon, a tech magazine, an education centre, an education trust. We're building a school. And then, of course, the Tech Manchester programme, which I run. And we provide, as some of you know here, the mentoring programme, supporting you through 6 to 12 months of your business, the workshops that we do now, and soon to be the co-working space that we'll have in the new building across the way. Probably people might wonder why Gail and Lawrence do all of these things. The main reason that they do it is because they don't see themselves as a tech business. They see themselves as a people business. And they believe that providing us with the best at work environment, support and training allows us to excel. But the other reason they do it is for the community. It's for other businesses that are out there, because they want to see Manchester excel, and they believe that they have the resources to be able to help do that. So before we kick off, for anybody that doesn't know, the bathrooms are just by the door that you came through. The Wi-Fi code is on the back of your pass if you need it. We're happy to see phones out. We love tweeting. The hashtag today is TechClass. Any photographs that you're popping up, just stick that on there. And emergency details, we're not expecting any fire alarms. So if you do hear one, run for the doors. Okay, so just a few things before I introduce your guest speaker for this afternoon. The next tech class coming up is going to be the follow-on one from this. Anyone that's here today, you'll get the most value out of it because you're doing the preparation for it. That's going to be on social media on the 16th of April. So if you just keep these dates for your diary, you'll also get the links on Eventbrite. We're then going to be doing, on the 30th of April, GDPR for beginners. This is really taking it to the granular level. Everybody's kind of freaking out about GDPR. Everybody knows that they need to do it. But that workshop is going to be taken by our Sakarma team and also by the GDPR person in UK Fast to help you get through that. We'll then have a demystifying startup law on the 14th of May. So those are some dates for your diaries. We do have Meetup Mentor earmarked for the 21st and 22nd of June for anyone that isn't already on the mentoring programme. And we'll send you some information out on that shortly. So, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce your guest speaker. So Karen Bright has over 25 years' experience in leading marketing and communications teams throughout the technology sector. So, alongside a variety of smaller companies, she has worked with one of the biggest corporates, including SAS Institute and the Russian energy giant Gazprom. But most recently, she's been the group marketing director for GB Group, and she took that business from being a UK data company into a global identity data intelligence company with over 900 employees worldwide. GB is now worth 600 million, and I'd like to think that part of your work had something to do with that. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome Karen Bright.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm not very good with tech, despite what Trisha's just said. Can you hear me all right? And I'm not sure whether I need a microphone or not. We Northern Ireland girls have good loud voices. Anyway, I'm going to keep it pretty interactive and informal today. I've met some of you already. It's great to start to see some familiar faces, but obviously lots of new ones, and I'm guessing new for each other as well. So we'll take a little minute or two to actually introduce each other. So as Trish says, I have over 25 years in the tech space. I love data for my sins. I'm a bit of a data geek. I remember the first time at SAS when we went into a customer, and I think it was Sainsbury's when they just launched their sort of club card equivalent, and actually seeing the data shown of what people had bought that day in a particular store, and actually getting behind it and seeing what the story was. Well, why did that person buy that and that? Why did they buy it at that time of the day? That for me gets really, really exciting, and it's why I kind of have stayed in the data industry pretty much all my life. At Gazprom, I slightly diverted into the energy sector, and then very quickly realized that the energy sector is actually information tech. Because if you think about it, the gas or the electricity that you buy at home is exactly the same whether you get it from British Gas or E.ON or Gazprom. But boy, well, am I glad I'm not working for a Russian big corporate now today. So thank you, whoever's looking out for me up there. But it was a fascinating experience. I think the quote of my career has to be when I was trying to work out why we were sponsoring the Champions League. I think the parent company had spent about £65 million on it, and somebody just said, you don't realise that's just cheaper than paying the tax bill. So if you've got aspirations, that's where you got to go, guys. You can sponsor the Champions League one day because it'll be cheaper than just paying your tax bill. So that was a learning exercise. I live in the Northwest. I've been up here for 20 odd years. I've got 3 kids, all suddenly seem to have got up and left home and left me with lots of time and space to do these kind of things. So that's why I've actually moved out of corporate life and decided to take a little bit of time to start and explore what's actually going on in Manchester. And I'm very excited to see there's lots of exciting things happening. So great for everybody. So I'm not going about me anymore. Feel free to ask any questions, and hopefully over the next couple of hours we'll have lots of opportunity to interact. There's lots of exercises and workshop-y type of interactions that you'll have. But would you just take maybe just the next 5 minutes, and you've all had a chance to think about what your business does, maybe practice your elevator pitch, and just introduce yourselves to one another, because you're going to actually work as teams. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute, but you're actually going to be a little mini company, so you need to get to know your colleagues pretty quickly. So if I give you 5 minutes just to introduce yourselves then. Okay, well, I've got a simple personal goal from today. My goal today is to actually hopefully help you think a little bit differently about marketing. Very often, whether it's a big company, whether it's a small company, they have a very specific view of what marketing does and how you actually use it. And very often it's about channels to market, it's about actually communications, do we advertising or PR, should we use social media, if so, what do we say? I'm hoping that by the end of the day you'll have thought, oh, right, okay, I see a bit more of a process here, and actually it's a lot more about customers first before we even start thinking about how we'll actually reach them and what we might say. So, quick run through the agenda. We're going to do a little bit of work around defining marketing and then look at customers. So this bit around here, marketing, sales, alignment, customer buying habits, how you might research customers. We'll be covering that off, and why customers actually buy from you in the first place, and how you can find out a little bit more about what their needs are. We'll have a quick break, so if you do need to have either a comfort break or take any calls, although hopefully, mind you probably all do have to take calls in the evening. And then we'll get some feedback on that section. And then I'm going to talk about customer communication and what you say, how you say it, because it varies very differently from one type of customer to another. And I've included a little bit about briefing an agency. I'm not anticipating you're all going to go out of here and search for a marketing agency and suddenly need to be spending a lot of money. Absolutely not. But I have got in the pack of information you've got, so takeaways, a template for briefing an agency, because it's actually really good for internal use as well. So even if it's only for your own personal use, making sure you know why you're going after this customer, what you're going to say to them, what you need to do, you'll be able to use that. And then we'll talk about measurement and get some Q&A at the end of the stuff that we haven't covered off. Then I'm happy to pick it up in the last quarter of an hour or so. Okay? So, defining marketing. Does anybody want to volunteer a definition, how you see marketing? They're all things that certainly marketing teams get involved in. Who here would say they're actually doing any marketing at the moment? Well, if I can dispel that at least immediately, because you're all doing marketing because you're here. And if this is actually all part of marketing. It's about getting out there, having conversations, finding out what's going on. those of you that sell to other consumers, anybody in this room is your potential customer. So, you know, there's areas there that you can explore. But there's a lot of definitions. There's a lot of gobbledygook around marketing, to be honest, as well. I'll come back to these in a minute. But when you look at defining, you know, it's the activity, a set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. I mean, that's actually in a Harvard presentation. So, you know, it doesn't make our job easy, does it really? But yeah, you get the gist of it, but it's not easy. I think that's one of the big challenges with marketing. It's this science up there, and increasingly with all the data-driven marketing that we can do, it's become quite analytical and quite scientific. Which is why I like definitions like this. You know, it's influencing the actions of others. Or it's the act of connecting customers to products. You started to say, actually, it's really quite simplistic. I've got a customer who wants to buy something, and I've got a product that does something, and it's making sure that that fits together. And this is one I actually, you know, it kind of builds on it a little bit because it starts to bring back that value piece again. But it's the building of a relationship between a company, a product, and a consumer by understanding the value of their needs. And really, I used to have battles with my CEO, who was a corporate financier, and very analytical, very numbers driven, you know, very kind of black and white about things, and great to keep me right in terms of you know, what I needed to be looking at. But actually, marketing is about building relationships, and sometimes it's just about a gut feel that somebody gets that you just are right for them, or that product would work. And as marketeers, what we're really trying to do is get under the head bit and get into the heart. So, you know, you hear people talk about hearts and minds. How can I actually get into the kind of the soul of this customer? And whether you're selling to B2B or you're selling to B2C, as we call it, to consumers, you and me on the street, it's still a human who's making that decision. And that human is driven by a certain need that they have, a certain emotional connection that they have. If it's in a B2B context, they're actually also, they've got aspirations, they've got ambitions, they've got fears, they're nervous about things. So if you can help them by connecting with that emotional side, actually that, for me, is what marketing is all about. Does that make sense? So here's a simple picture. On the left, we've got the consumer, whether it's a corporate consumer or a man on the street. And actually, as marketeers, we're trying to create a connection in their brain that there's something they need or they really, really passionately want here. Marketing, of course, has to deliver profit. So we are measured, and we need to be able to, you know, as you grow and your businesses get bigger and bigger, and hopefully one day you'll employ a marketing manager, you're going to want to make sure that marketing manager is actually delivering real revenue for you and profit. So it's not about just having a nice fluffy time and all, you know, being lovely and warm and huggy together. The job for marketing is, how do we then bring the story to life? You actually feed that consumer need into the product development, so you define a great product or service and then communicate it out. But the way I describe it, to be honest, at any level, is very simply like this. Marketing's who are you selling to, why do they want to buy from you, what are you going to say to them and offer them, and then how are you going to communicate? Whether that's social media or whether it's, you know, going to exhibitions, whether it's using PR. And I suppose my frustration, and this is at every level, wherever I've gone, and I've been having a number of conversations recently with MDs of big companies, and I'll say to them, so what do you want marketing to achieve? Because they want to do more marketing, or they have, you know, they're not well enough known. We need to do more marketing, and they go straight down into, well, we want to, you know, be famous, and we want people to understand that we're there, and we want to go to this exhibition, and I want you to organize it for us, and can you help with our website? That's often a classic one. We need a new website because ours is crap and we need a new one. Well, yeah, absolutely, and there's loads of good agencies and technical marketeers out there who can help. Why do you need to see social media? I need to be on social media. I realize now I need to be out there and be doing things. Yeah, why? And if there's anything you take away from today, it's the magic question that any decent marketeer should use is why. And why do you want to talk to that customer? Why do you think they're the right customer? Why do they need this product? Why do you want to go to that exhibition? I had a situation recently, actually it was at GBG, and we got into one of these planning cycles, and the conversation always came, we had the gaming sector was a big sector for us at GB, and the guy that headed up that sector said, right, great, so we need to go to ICE, which was the big show down in Excel. We have to be there this year. Okay. Well, let's just go through the marketing plan for the gaming sector first, and let's understand that. He wanted to reach CEOs and COOs of the big gambling companies. That was who our market was. We decided that's who we wanted to go after and get a really sort of high level of engagement. So the how was completely inappropriate when we went through the exercise, because those guys do not go to trade shows and walk around Excel, looking for, information. So we completely changed the how to then aspire back to meeting the actual who at the front end. We did a lot, still struggled quite a lot with the why in between, because that's when it gets tricky. Well, why does a CEO of a gaming company want to talk to us? That's often where a lot of your work goes. But today's definition, who, then why, then what are you going to say to them? And then you can talk about how. And actually today I'm not going to talk an awful lot about how, because there are fantastic technical people out there. You'll have the guys doing the social media session next time who can tell you a lot more than I could ever tell you about how to use social media properly once you've decided it's the right thing to do. Okay, so that's lesson number 1. Don't worry about all the marketing gobbledygook that you see around the place. It's just, who am I selling to? Why do they want it? What do I need to say to them? And then how are we going to reach them? So, who is my customer? You are now, have you all been transformed into wholly different companies? And on your table, you have a case study. There are actually 4. So hopefully we've got, so you guys are a marketing agency, surprise, surprise. So you're now running a little marketing agency. You used to work for a massive, big international advertising agency. You've got 3 strategic marketing consultants, and then you use technical associates to help you build your business. You've got a revenue goal this year of 170K, and you ideally want to be focused on the tech sector. So that's who you are. You can call yourselves what you want. You guys, what are you? You're the DIY hardware store. So if I should go back, I've got the slides up here. Yep. So yeah, it's a family business, established way back 60 years ago. They sell a whole range of products, and it's located in a market town with quite an affluent population, turning over about 20K a month, and you've got increasing competition from the big retail brands. So it's harder and harder. You've got Amazon and everything else, okay? Who's got the swimming pool? Right, okay. So you're actually a US company that now wants to move over into the UK, and you install swimming pools for domestic use. The typical cost for your pool is about 75K, and then you've got all the groundworks and all this sort of tidying up and everything afterwards. And you're also branching into selling cleaning fluids and peripherals and, kind of the ladders and all the nice stuff that goes with it as well. All right? Not much use for them in the northwest of England at the moment, I can tell you, but anyway. And then the final one, have you guys got this? Or are you... But you should just be one. Have you got 2? Oh, you got 2. Well, which one would you like to be? You can be the hardware store. Yep. You do the hardware store, right? Okay. So then we'll not have the other one. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, when we're going to use this as your sort of focal point, really, for some of the exercises through this evening. I want you to imagine you are now running this business and have purposefully chosen, with the exception of the marketing agency, have chosen businesses that you might all shop in or might use, or I don't know, you might want a swimming pool one day, who knows? But you basically should be able to recognize, yourselves as a consumer as well as a potential business person. So what we're going to do, first of all, is have a think about your business. You can give it a name if you want, although I think some of them are already named. And think about what your product is, and just scribble it down in your notebooks or on a piece of paper there if you've got it on the table. Just work together for 5 minutes and just identify what is this thing that you sell. So you've got a clear understanding, because then we're going to come on and apply it to customers. Okay? So what are you selling?